disagreements on the sidelines. Back and forth, heated back and forth, yelling at each other.
The toxic sideline environment brewing at the Indiana Fever has officially breached a catastrophic, historic boiling point, exposing a vicious power struggle that mainstream outlets are flat-out terrified to touch. When a franchise inherits a generational phenomenon like Caitlin Clark, their absolute mandate is to shield her genius and cultivate mutual respect. Instead, what we are witnessing is a high-stakes tactical sabotage and an aggressive Mean Girls culture tearing the roster apart from the inside out. Viral, indisputable footage has just sent shockwaves across the sports world, capturing the definitive moment Clark violently rips her arm away from head coach Christie's sides and her staff on the bench, a raw explosion of body language shouting that the gloves are entirely off. This is no isolated incident. It is a calculated, recurring pattern of intense psychological friction and sideline policing that you would never see inflicted on global icons like LeBron James, Luka Doncic, or Aya Wilson, because elite coaching staffs treat superstars as foundational partners, not subordinates to be aggressively handled. Ultimately, this entire operation feels like a desperate, envy-driven mission to systematically knock a historic talent down a peg, proving that the environment in Indianapolis has become completely untenable and leaving Clark with only one logical countermove: execute a ruthless exit strategy and get out immediately.
I didn't see this. Caitlin Clark ripping her hand away from Methany White. Get your damn hands off me. Get your damn hands off me. And then Stephanie White's reaction is, hey! Get your damn hands off me. Hey! Hey! Yeah, no, get your damn hands off me. The fuck is this? You think we're in high school? You think you're Bobby Knight? Stephanie White, you ain't fucking Bobby Knight. Sorry. You're not Bobby Knight. You couldn't even you couldn't even shine Bobby Knight's shoes. You couldn't even put on his socks. You couldn't even iron his clothes.
Analyze that jaw-dropping interaction, and you will see pure defiance in Caitlin's movement, a superstar who completely rips her arm away because she has officially reached her absolute limit. Stephanie White's reaction on the sideline is instant panic masked as pure venom. Clearly furious that her franchise cornerstone publicly refused to be physically controlled or put in her place. You think you are Bob Knight, Stephanie, believing you can aggressively pull a generational icon on national television just to assert your dominance? You could not even shine his shoes or fold his clothes. You're simply a mid-tier coach operating with a massive ego problem while managing a high-performance Ferrari like a cheap rental car. You do not build a championship culture by trying to mechanically overpower the exact player who is single-handedly elevating the entire league's profile. Yet this toxic behavior does not stop with the head coach, as this top-down culture of intimidation has fully infected the assistant coaching staff since day one, establishing a clear, recurring pattern rather than a simple, one-time misunderstanding.
I remember this. Caitlin Clark doing what Caitlin Clark does, hyping up the crowd, getting the crowd rowdy. And here comes the coach. Here comes the coach, grabbing her. Why? What are we doing here? You can't show too much emotion, Caitlin. Everybody's going to get mad at you, Caitlin. You can't show too much emotion. You're showing up everybody else. What are we doing here? You don't take the fire out of the player.
Even in the early stages, the warning signs are flashing red as Caitlin Clark did exactly what she does best: firing up the crowd, igniting the arena, and bringing pure, electric energy to the floor. Instead of fueling that momentum, the coaching staff repeatedly intervened, grabbing her, pulling her back, and desperately tried to extinguish the fire under the pretense that she was showing too much emotion or outshining the rest of the roster. You do not smother the competitive drive of a generational phenom, nor do you restrain a superstar who is single-handedly carrying the entire arena on her shoulders. But the Indiana leadership simply could not handle the spotlight burning solely on her, and as the season progressed, that sideline frustration has intensified into relentless micromanagement, turning every single game into an absolute psychological battleground.
On the sidelines. Back and forth, heated back and forth, yelling at each other. Stephanie White pointing, like the annoying person that she is. Just nagging. Just nagging.
Look at this heated, chaotic back and forth on the sidelines, and witness the relentless finger-pointing and hostile, principle-like nagging that has absolutely nothing to do with strategic basketball adjustments. This is an unchecked ego trip, a deliberate, repetitive campaign to belittle the absolute best thing to happen to women's basketball in decades, while forcing a generational talent to stand there and absorb pure negativity. Worse yet, the assistant coaching staff is eagerly participating in this toxic sideline culture, as shocking footage captures assistant coach Brianne January waiting for Clark to walk off the floor, forcefully grabbing her arm to swing her entire body around, and aggressively getting directly up in her face with screaming and intense finger-pointing.
It seems these coaches just can't help themselves. And here comes Brianne January, grabbing Caitlin Clark by the arm. Let me swing you around. Let me get up all in your face. These coaches are really on one, huh? Folks, this is...
Observe the sheer physical aggression as she swings her around, proving that this coaching staff is trapped in a massive, unchecked power trip. For yet another time, Clark is forced to physically pull away from her own leadership team just to secure basic breathing room on the bench. Think about the absolute madness of this dynamic. You never see this level of physical yanking or aggressive handling with any other premier superstar in professional sports. Real elite coaches communicate face-to-face with professional respect, rather than grabbing, pushing, or treating an international icon like an unruly student. This reality forces an intense, highly controversial question that the mainstream sports media lacks the courage to articulate. Why is a generational talent being singled out for this aggressive physical handling? And why does this staff feel so comfortable continuously pushing boundaries on national television? The underlying truth points directly to a deeply insecure, envious culture that feels completely threatened by a young star who is vastly more popular and generating the entire financial valuation of the franchise. They are actively executing a strategy to extinguish her competitive fire, and this toxic disruption is playing out destructively in real time during actual gameplay.
We all remember this from the other day. Caitlin Clark and Brianne January heated on the bench again. Woo! Damn! Forgot how much fire that this clip had. Oh, damn. Yeah. You remember that? Yeah. There's a lot of this going on.
The tension on the bench is so thick you could cut it with a knife, exposing a heated, ongoing friction between Caitlin Clark and Brianne January that signals the internal collapse of the team. Clark is completely isolated, even after hitting a majestic, deep logo three that brings a crowd to their feet. She bypasses her coaching staff with a blind look-away high-five because she anticipates being immediately benched on the next possession to stall her momentum and suppress her production. This hostility carries directly into the post-game press conferences, where management completely refuses to credit her performance, acting virtually allergic to giving the superstar her flowers because she represents everything they are not. The front office and ownership group have intentionally resurrected the franchise's old guard specifically to wage an internal power struggle and put number 22 in her place, proving they are willing to jeopardize wins and play in front of empty seats just to assert control over their own cornerstone, knowing deep down that Clark will execute a swift exit strategy the exact second her contract allows. The organization's marketing department is already trying to build an identity without her by heavily promoting rotational players and suppressing her on social media channels. True fans need to realize this franchise does not deserve her talent and has actively cultivated a hostile workspace, making it time for Clark to demand an immediate trade to a professional organization